I just got a new math book. It's called Math Fact Fluency, 60 plus games and assessment tools to support learning and retention. Jennifer Bay Williams and Gina Kling. This is one of the activities I'll be spending some time with this summer, but I couldn't wait till summertime, so I've been dipping into it a little ahead of time. They go into quite an interesting explanation of how fluency is not just rote memorization. And in fact, they give an example of why time tests, we're learning that just giving time tests is not an accurate measure of fluency. And I have to share this little bit that they wrote about Tommy. Tommy is taking his weekly multiplication test. Although he has learned many easier multiplication facts, Tommy still struggles with his sevens. I have a lot of students who struggle with their sevens. I bet you do too. And he is very aware of his weakness. Once again, he compensates by skipping around and answering the facts he knows. Then he quietly puts his hands under his desk to help him count to answer the remaining unknown facts. He has learned that he can usually finish the test in time by doing this, and his teacher is therefore convinced he knows his facts. Isn't that so interesting? I would look at that and say, oh yes, look, he did so well, but he hasn't even learned his sevens. The teacher doesn't even know he needs to learn his sevens. And so time tests, we are learning, are not the answer that we thought they were for so many years, that I thought they were for so many years. Oh, to go back in time to redo that. But I found one of the games that I tried in my classroom. The authors call it the doubles game. It's just bingo. I bought bingo my first year of teaching. I've been playing bingo, but this is just a slight variation of bingo. In doubles, you're doing all the doubles, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5. So I actually changed that name from doubles to squares. And my students are always looking for little fun upper grade things for me to teach them. So, 5 squared, 6 squared, 7 squared. And so I went all the way up to the 12s, and I passed out paper, and I said, make a 4x4 grid. And I was so excited because they could. Nobody said, what's that? Nobody needed help. They knew how to make a 4x4 grid. And this is what it turned out to look like. And they could put those products anywhere on their 4x4 grid. We just used plain white paper, but I think when I do it next, I'll use this colored paper. It just makes it a little more appealing visually, I think. And then all you have to do is get counters. I had found at Michael's some little pebbles that about this big. They're just beautiful. I've since found them for far less at the Dollar Tree, but we've been I put them in their little manipulative boxes, and the students said, oh, we don't have enough. And then one of the students, and I thought, oh dear, and one of the students said, oh, we can just use our coins, because we have in these little bins, we have coins, toothpicks, and our math tiles. And so I didn't have to pass out anything extra, and they improvised, which was one of our vocabulary words, and solved the problem themselves. And then I would call out the factors, 5 squared. And in their instructions, they say only let them put a marker down 1 time. So like if they have 49 written down here twice, they can only put it down 1 time. And the hardest thing to do is to decide what type of bingo you're going to do. Horizontal, vertical, diagonal, outer board, inner board, sideboard, just any 4 in a row. And that's really fun for them to get to choose. It's like a big honor. And we did that for about 3 days, and I was shocked at the fact that they had learned their squares. So then I thought, well, why don't, we use our regular bingo game, but what if we make our own bingo boards? Wouldn't that be fun? And it was. They loved it. And I made a list of equations, of factors that I find challenging for them. The 6s, the 7s, the 8s, the 9s. We didn't do any 10s. I didn't even do any 11s except for 11 squared. and the 12s, and I just made a list, and then I showed that on my projector, and I said choose products from these, and they could repeat products if they wanted. And this is how it turned out. And then I don't know why I changed the rule, and I let them if I said, let's see, I have 81 written down twice. If I said 9 squared, they were able to put 81 2 times. So you can leave that up to your discretion, or let them choose if they can put the marker down once or twice when something is called. And we had so much fun. Of course, vertical and horizontal are words that they don't know well. We did inner board, we did outer board. We just had all kinds of fun with the different variations. And then I thought, well, surely they're going to get tired of their board. Then what? Well, we have to take time to make another board. And they didn't. And I thought, I already had a backup plan. I said, oh, if they get tired of their board, they can switch with a friend. But I think it's because they had made their own boards. They kind of felt married to them. And surprise of all surprise, the next day when I said take out your bingo boards, not one, how is this even possible? Not one of them had lost his or her board. They had their boards. Again, I think it's because they had created it and made it special for themselves. Then the next week we made new boards so that they could have fresh numbers. So that is how we are practicing our multiplication fluency right now. And you can even change the name of it. We're just calling it bingo, but my 6th grade teacher, my favorite elementary school teacher, when we played multiplication bingo, she always called it multi. And I bet your students could come up with some fun, various names for this bingo game. But I'm going to leave you with that activity for this week. It requires no equipment. You don't have to buy anything, and you can just do it on a whim, low prep, great reward. And I will say goodbye to you, but I will remind you of how you can be a math person, as brought to us by the scaffolded math lady and Mrs. Crossgrove at my school, who brought it to my attention. 1, be a person. 2, do some math.